Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bloom Talks. Linda Bloom here.
I'm here too. I'm Charlie.
That's my main squeeze over there. So we're very happy to be here with you. You know, we meet with you every Thursday afternoon at 12:30 Pacific time, and we've got a juicy topic for you today. We're going to talk about FOMO, and FOMO stands for fear of missing out. And we really welcome your comments and questions. So if you go to the comments department and put them down, we will attempt to address whatever questions and concerns you have. So let me tell you why we find that FOMO is such an important topic to explore. We find that people are under this illusion that they can have it all. And more people seem to be infected with this notion and at effect of this myth of having it all. And so they get spread too thin, they multitask, and you know, you might be one of those people. We might be one of those people. It's really important to catch ourselves red-handed, if that is the truth, that FOMO may be dominating our life. Because if you're on the receiving end of FOMO, you know how crummy it feels when people can't make a commitment. I'm going to be with you on Friday night, 6 o'clock. We're going to go out to dinner. I'll be there on time. And a lot of people want to keep their options open in case something better comes up. Maybe they'll even make an agreement, but then they'll go and break it with us because something better in their mind did come up, and then we end up feeling like, well, I'm not very important. I'm not very valued if they're not going to commit, if they're going to make an agreement and then break it. What am I, chopped liver? You know, you can end up feeling that you don't have value in the other person's estimation of you. And we all really want to feel important. We want to feel valued. We want to feel treasured and honored by those people who are in our life that we really care about. And so those people who keep their options open or who make agreements, but then they go and break them, they have always just very big stories and excuses and justifications for why they needed to do that. But it still feels crummy, even if they might have a good story, if they overuse them. Of course, sometimes we have to break agreements or renegotiate agreements. But when it becomes a chronic problem, when it becomes a chronic habit, that's when it becomes a problem. Because people feel like they can't really trust us, that our word's not good, and that they're not really committed to keeping our relationship in really good, sturdy shape. And of course, commitment is one of the key factors in success, no matter what we're doing, in the workplace, in being a wonderful parent, in being a great lover, a partner, or spouse, in athletic achievements or health and well-being. Commitment is a key part, and FOMO tends to erode commitment.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, having it all.
We used to believe that.
Not only believe it, but really acted as though that was a realistic, reasonable expectation. And for quite a while, acted as though that was possible and did everything that we could to make that happen. In fact, even taught courses to people about how they can have it all too, until we realized, well, actually, it's a really great concept and it's a great theory, but in fact, it doesn't tend to hold a lot of water in the real world. And the problem with that is that when we think in terms of the it in what we want to have, having it all, there's quite a bit that's included in that it. Mm-hmm. And it's really about desires. And so the idea, when that phrase came into the popular vernacular 2 or 3, 4 decades ago, the way most people heard it was, whatever you want, you can have. And not only can you have it, but you can have it all now. You can have it all at the same time. You don't have to give up anything that you want. You just have to get clear about what it is and then just get committed to it. Makes sense, right? Well, turns out that not only does it not work out that way, but actually going after the fulfillment of all of your desires can really cause you much more suffering than not having them filled. So one of the things that we want to talk about today is what the problem is with that. Because to a lot of people, it seems like, well, what have you got to lose? You just get clear about what you want. And, even if you can't have everything, you can at least go for it. And it does seem like a lot of other people are doing that, so they can't all be wrong. Well, one of the problems with that is that when you feel that desire to keep all of your options open and you really don't want to make any decisions that could exclude other possibilities. And by the way, all decisions always exclude other possibilities. Whenever you decide about something, you are eliminating other options. In fact, the word decide comes from the Latin word decidere, which means to cut off. So you're always cutting off other options whenever you make a decision, which is one of the reasons why you or some of your friends maybe have trouble making commitments, because a commitment is a decision. Making other decisions, choices, because, well, if I do agree to go out with this person, what happens if I get a better offer between now and the time I agree? So I'll get back to you on that date that you proposed on Saturday. I'll let you know.
Have to be willing to let go of some things.
I'll let you know, like
have to
Saturday
be
afternoon.
To sacrifice.
If I get a better option, which I won't say this, but what I'm thinking is, if I get a better option, I won't be available. And so what happens is, in a nutshell, what happens is that in our attempts to not miss out on anything, we miss out on the opportunities not only to do things that could be very fulfilling, because fulfillment doesn't necessarily come from the choices we make. It comes from the degree to which we are engaged with our experience. And it's very difficult to be fully connected, present, and engaged with our experience when we're constantly reflecting on what other options might I have? What else can I do? Who else might be somebody that I might want to be with?
Or doing more than one activity at a time.
Yeah, multitasking.
Because multitasking, some people really have this idea in their mind that they can get away with doing this and doing that. And I brought a wonderful quote. It's by a psychiatrist named Edward Hallowell. And when he refers to multitasking, he says, it's a mythical activity in which people believe that they can perform two or more tasks simultaneously as effectively as one.
Wait a minute. You mean that means I can't drive and eat my lunch at the same time?
Well, people can not enjoy their lunch quite as much while they're driving, or they might not enjoy the act of driving and seeing the scenery and being as focused. Well, it's being present for the experience. And the other quote that I really love is the Las Vegas casino. You must be present to win. Because if we're fully present in one activity at a time, the chances of deriving the most satisfaction and fulfillment and having a successful outcome, but not just the successful outcome, enjoying the process, is if we're very focused with our attention on that one that we prioritize, which means that we have to decide to let some other things go, at least temporarily.
So does that mean that I shouldn't be fully present with experiences that might not be pleasurable and enjoyable, or just be present with the ones that I'm getting some pleasure from?
I think it's good to be fully present with whatever it is that we choose. And some of it is not going to be that pleasurable. Some of it is not going to be enjoyable. Some of it is maybe going to be difficult or painful, some of the conversations that we might have. But if we really show up for them and we show up full heart, the chances of having a successful outcome in terms of greater understanding of ourselves, greater understanding of the other person, co-creating something as an outcome of dealing with whatever that irritating or upsetting, challenging issue is improved. But some people, when they hit that place where you really need to commit, you really need to lean into the challenge, you really need to be fully present, they drift off and distract themselves with other things. They don't decide to stay present.
So one of the, would you say that one of the antidotes to FOMO is to practice presence, to be more mindful, to
be here now? Ram Dass,
not be trying to do 12 things at one time.
Ram Dass says, be here now. Ajahn Chah says, just this much at a time. When you eat, just eat. When you read, just read. And because of all the tech devices, people answer the phone. Do you know? They answer the phone. They check their messages. They send text messages. They've got their laptop on. They've got their tablet open. And so when they could be having a more in-depth, fulfilling, meaningful conversation, they may have FOMO and go check their phone, or FOMO and listening with half an ear and half of their attention, but they're typing in a note to themselves on their laptop.
So I have a friend who's got a pretty serious case of FOMO. And
we all know him.
Well,
we all know somebody.
Not going to mention any names.
Who's got this?
But I hope he's not listening because he might recognize himself in my description. But I'm just wondering, like, when we're together, he answers his phone during our conversations, and he's always looking around, and he's checking out the women in the restaurant if we're having lunch together or something, and it's awkward. I mean, I don't want to just tell him, hey, knock it off. That's not cool. I'm not enjoying, can you just pay attention?
I've done it. I've said it.
Well, what do you say? How do you deal with people like that?
If I'm talking to somebody on the phone and I hear a lot of noise in the background and clattering and they're doing other things,
you hear the pans.
The dishes away, I say, I just want to talk to you for a little while. Is this a good time? And could you stop doing the other things that you're doing and really be present with me?
Doesn't that sound kind of rude, though?
I don't mind being rude, and I save it for the people that I'm closest to, that I'd rather be real with them than be polite, and then end up feeling dissatisfied that the conversation didn't go well. And if they really can't show up then because they've got other things that they need to pay attention to, I can take a no. I'll take a rain check. I'll talk to them when they can really be present with me.
So it's like you'll just walk away, or you'll say that you don't want to talk anymore. Is that what you're gonna? Is that what you do?
I give them the option. Can you focus on your conversation with me right now so we can really have a satisfying conversation? Because I could wait till later, and then they can choose.
Yeah. Well, this kind of brings up another aspect of FOMO that I think we really need to talk about, which is your priorities. Your values. What is it that you really value? Do you value the idea of keeping your options open and of getting your desires fulfilled more than you value being present in your life, more than you value the quality of your relationships that do require more committed attention? What are your values? And some people would say, well, my values are I care about people. I want to have great relationships. I want to give to them in ways that they enjoy. I want to be mindful. I want to be present. And yet, in their lives, they're not necessarily living that way.
They may not be connecting the dots. I just want to say hi to Bev Dunaway, and she posted a comment about knowing what we want to accomplish. And if what you're saying.
Yeah, it comes from
It's
your
a priority
priorities and your values.
that I want my relationships to be glorious. I want my relationships to be as dazzling as they can be, as fulfilling as they can be, and that's high on our priority list. Then we can make a conscious decision, decide and commit to be fully present with every conversation and every interaction with the people who are important to us, and accomplish what we say we want to have by really showing up and being there in that conversation.
Well, it's interesting because everything that you're saying makes a lot of sense to me. But every time you say something new, this part of my brain goes, yeah, but what if? And what about those times when? And what about those people? So it's like I'm arguing with you at the same time that I'm agreeing. And then it
keeps coming back to the priority. What's most important, what has real meaning for me in my life, because we're going to have a lot of distractions inside our own mind and from outside in the world, and our greed to.
You mean there's no way we can just get rid of all that mind chatter and just focus on one thing at a time?
Just managing it, not being so distractible. Does I say that word right?
No, that's
distracted.
Good. But how do you get less distractible? How does that happen?
You practice being fully present. You practice setting your priorities. You practice letting go of some things, at least for now. Maybe I'll get to them later. And you stay focused with the things that have most heart and meaning for you. And I'm not saying this is easy to do. I'm not saying this is. I think it's pretty simple to make the choices. But it's simple is not necessarily easy. People don't want to slow down. Or part of them wants to slow down, but part of them is chasing with everybody else that's running. We're in a very rushaholic society, and we're kind of caught up in the energetic, where a lot of people are suffering with FOMO, and they don't even realize why they're suffering. They haven't connected the dots that it's because they're trying to cram so many things into a day and into a week and into a life and into a weekend.
Well, that's why I missed my Rushaholics Anonymous meeting the other day, because I was too busy. Yeah. So hopefully next week I won't be so busy and I'll be able to make it there.
But slowing down is one of the antidotes to FOMO. Mm-hmm. And we have to notice the part of ourselves that doesn't really want to slow down. And there are going to be some unpleasant things to experience when we slow down and we're fully present. So there's some resistance there.
So
and we definitely are going to miss out on some things.
Let me play devil's advocate again. So I know that, like, if I school, one of the reasons that I maybe keep up a faster pace than is healthy for me, besides the fact that I'm living in a culture I'm always trying to keep up with a speed that is not natural for me. But if I know that, and it's really, I also know that when I slow down, there's going to be stuff waiting for me I haven't dealt with, that I haven't really accepted, recognized, felt, experienced, come to terms with. And so you're saying, well, too bad, just get over it and face that stuff and, get it out of the way. It's easier said than done.
I'm sure that it is easier said than done. And when we're grounded and when we're centered and when we feel like we have a very full soul tank, when we get to those pending tasks that we put off temporarily to be fully in the first experience, I feel like we'll be more effective. Will be a more potent force field to actually deal with those things when we take them on one at a time and give our attention, the fullness of our attention to it, and having the priorities, because some things are going to fall way to the low end of the priority list when we really take the time to do that discernment. And some of the things, maybe we won't get to, but the things that we do get to, we can enjoy the process. We can enjoy the process of co-collaborating with another person, and we can savor the moments. Really be there.
You make it sound really nice. I mean, that sounds really appealing to me. And you know what? I really love that term that you just used, filling your soul tank.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know what that means to me. I'm not sure everybody knows it in the same way I do. Everybody's got their own idea of that, sort of like a soul mate, soul tank. But I know that when I feel that my soul tank is full, I don't feel that compulsion to chase after so much stuff.
You got the most important things.
Yeah.
So you're not filling in with the extras.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to come off as, some holier than thou. I'm teaching this because I need to learn it all the time. And I've been a wicked abuser of FOMO myself for trying to cram in too much. I'm doing better. I'm grateful I'm doing better. And I'm really grateful to you for helping me to slow down and posting the sign in the office that says slow down. Because I do look at it and I do pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I do take time every day to prioritize what's most important and try to be there in a way that I'm enjoying it, not just to check it off of my to-do list, but to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've come far enough in my career now that I should be enjoying the things that I'm doing for work. And I definitely have come far enough that I don't do obligatory things because I feel like I'm going to get in trouble with other people, that I do what I really want to do in my social life.
Yeah.
Particularly with you.
A lot of it really has to do with self-acceptance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if I can really be okay with myself and be more accepting of who I am, I'm not necessarily saying to be tolerant of bad behavior, but to recognize, that I'm in the process of, becoming, dealing with all of this stuff too, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of the human growth process.
You've been a wonderful example for me because I think you really do savor. I love the way you smell your food before you eat it and how slowly you eat.
Yeah, I'm a slow eater.
You do mindfulness meditation when you're eating and you get the textures and the tastes and you don't rush.
Getting hungry just listening
to
you.
No, you're an example to me because I've tended to want to hurry and cram in a lot. And you do help me by example and also reminding me to slow down. And I think that my tendency to want to cram a lot in is because I feel like my life for a while was sort of small and shrunken. Yeah. And I had to get up to FOMO. That
was a step in the right direction.
I had to
expand
you had to
my
go
life.
Through, right? Yeah, to have some healthy greed.
Yeah, to feel like you're worthy of having your desires fulfilled.
It was too much of a good thing. And now I'm trying to narrow it down and prioritize it.
Well, the pendulum's got to swing. Sometimes it doesn't swing from one end to the middle. It swings from one extreme to the other. Yeah. And it goes back and forth, and then slowly it comes closer to the middle.
And I'm really enjoying things. And one of the reasons that I've learned from you a lot, because you live every day in gratitude. Do you know? You really sincerely are grateful for all that you have. And so it doesn't leave you feeling anxious and fearful that other people have more, envy, jealousy, that they're having more pleasure, they're making more money, or they have more professional status and blah, blah, blah. And to just revel and live in the attitude of gratitude that we have so much already.
That is so true. And as you're speaking, I am experiencing that. Like in this moment, I am experiencing gratitude to you for feeling and expressing your gratitude to me, and then for identifying the specific ways in which you value the way I am. I mean, that really feels good.
Well, you helped me get over my FOMO.
Yeah.
And I'm thriving in my life because I don't feel like I suffer with FOMO the way I used to.
Yeah, well, you're a lot easier to be with now than you were before I cured you.
And so are you. You were hard to be with.
Only for a couple of decades, though. I mean, I got over that.
Not quite that long. But when you believed in you can have it all, then it was a wild ride around here.
Then
there wasn't enough.
Then I had to go apologize to all those people who were in the seminars I told them. I said, oh, listen, guys, that stuff I told you about having it all. Oh, I'm really sorry. I was wrong.
All right. If anybody's watching that used to do those seminars where Charlie said you could have it all, erase.
Yeah, just push the delete button on that.
He's taking that all back.
Yeah. You can have a lot, though. You just can't have everything all the time. Not everything that you want. But you will always have something. Yeah. So
So
where do we go from here?
I don't know. I think we should just summarize and say, if you're doing a mindfulness practice right now to see whether you might suffer with FOMO yourself, try not to beat yourself up or give yourself a hard time about it. It's rampant and it's epidemic in our culture, to be competitive and greedy. And it takes a very concerted effort to begin by telling the truth about it, to catch ourselves red-handed, to put the corrections in by prioritizing, by being focused on one thing at a time, by living in gratitude, really showing up and paying attention. And if you are with people who are hurting you, they may not realize that FOMO is costing them trust and well-being in their relationship with you. And again, with mindfulness and non-judgmental awareness, to be able to give them feedback. Like the example that I gave when I was talking to that person on the phone who was banging all around her kitchen doing dishes and putting things away while she's talking with me. And I really wanted her to show up because I was talking about something that was really important to me. And I don't think she felt judged. I think that she really heard me. And I think there is a way that we can tell people that we would like to be able to count on. Are we going to get together? When are we going to get together? And to make the agreement, to commit to it, whatever they are, and to hold it. And it must be something really significant if we're going to break the agreement. Sometimes we have to, but that's the basic trust that we grow is through making agreements and keeping them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I hope that you have enjoyed this talk and that you have been present for it and been mindful and aware of what you're hearing and what it is that's activating in you, and that you can integrate some of this stuff in your life.
Today's an exciting day because we had an online magazine article published. So it's in Mystic Living Today, and the article is 9 tips for couples to make love last. And we want to announce our topic for next Thursday, why tough love can be the best thing for your relationship.
But not too tough.
Next Thursday, 12:30 Pacific time. Tell your friends to come and get the good free samples from the Blooms about having glorious relationships. See you next Thursday.
Adios.